Jai Gurudev. Good evening, everyone. My name is Somesh. I welcome you on behalf of our organization to Yog Vaashishtha evening session. नमस्ते, मैं सोमेश्वर आप सभी का संस्था की तरफ से योग वाशिष्ठ के सायंकाल के स्वागत करता हूँ. We'll continue our session by chanting Om 3 times. Today we are on 28th session. आज हम लोग 148वें सत्र में यहाँ पे पहुंच चुके हैं. Let's continue our session by chanting Om 3 times. I welcome all the Zoom participants, all our YouTube viewers and all our Facebook viewers to this session. Today we'll continue to look at the dialogue that happens between the Vyadh, that hunter, and the Muni. So that is where that experience of getting into Parakaya Pravesh, getting into someone else's body, and then we have seen all the four avasthas, no? That four modulations of your mind called Jagrutasthha, Swapnavastha, Nidravastha, and Turyavastha. So after that, today we will look at that we all have heard about this story of Shankaracharya. Which will details of that also, and we always see that there is this Jiva Bhava, something which is Jiva, that Chaitanya. How one can experience that Chaitanya. That's also something that we look at today's session. So let's how it all unfolds, and then we will hear out you also what are your experiences about it. But for now, let's all close our eyes. Aram se baitha hai. And let's become aware about your breath. Take a normal breath in and let go. Take deep breath in and let go. Let us chant Omkar 3 times. Breathe in for the Omkar chanting. Let us invoke the divinity within. Guru का आवाहन कर ले. पुनः पुनः सच्चिदानंद रूपो Shivoham, Shivoham. Let's express our gratitude to our Master. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Shri Gurave Namaha. Let us pray to the Master, whatever the known and unknown levels of our wisdom. Inspired by whatever the words that come out of this mouth, what the actions that are happening, what thoughts that hold on to our mind, and the power of discrimination that arise from our intellect. The impression that might be created in the memory. And if still there is an iota of that I, let all known and unknown wells our existence be inspired by the Master. Pray like this. Feeling the presence of the Master within and outside. To continue to form the Purushartha. To make us understand that there is nothing that can guide us. You are already. You are peace. You are love. You are joy. Feeling this contentment, इस तृप्ति की भावना के साथ, slowly and gradually, तुम्हें open your eyes. धीरे धीरे अपनी प्यारी सी आंखें खोल सकते. Chaliye, let's continue with our session. Let us see what is the knowledge that is going to get unfold today. So yesterday we saw that how this Avidya can continue, where we saw that there is this king called Parishchit. And how does this Parishchit Raja gets into so many different elusive environment, sees so many different things, yet his wanting to know does not diminish. And one fine day he just gets into the form of the deer, and that too nearby the garden which is located around Ramchandraji. So then Prabhu Ramchandraji orders his soldiers to bring that a deer into the court, and that is where the story goes that he enters into the Agni, and that is how the Bhasa comes into picture. The Bhas is the name given because it has come from the stage, come from the fire. The name was given by everyone to that being is a Bhas. Now this Bhas continue to tell the story that how he has also seen multiple such universe, multiple such Brahman, and once upon a time he saw there is a Shava, that dead body is falling, that was very big, which was capable of acquiring the entire earth. Now when that thing is saw that, and then this Bhasa, when he sees that, he asks this question to the Agni, the one who is his creator, so he calls that Agni Putra. So this Bhas asks to Agni that what is it all about? Why is all happening? Can you please explain me what is it all about? And that is where the Agni Dev is now telling the story to Bhas about that Shava. So he explained that once upon a time there was this Asura. This Asura was having a very big body, and then that Asura went into one of the ashram, and in that ashram he did all the breakdowns, and because of that the Muni which was there in that ashram cursed him. So because of that curse, he turned into ashes, and then after that he takes a birth of a very small insect. That insect is crushed by the deer. The last moment when he got crushed, that is what the thing that he saw is the deer. So he got into the form of the deer. He took the next birth as a deer. The deer was killed by the hunter, and that hunter, and because of that thing, that deer got himself into the form of hunter. That hunter goes to some other Muni's ashram. And that is where that Muni, it's very obvious that he would share his knowledge with him. He shares his knowledge with him. And that is how, after sharing, listening to the knowledge, he also gets into walk on the path of spirituality. That is where he also keeps on asking the question to that Muni, and a dialogue between that Vyadh, that hunter, and the Muni is now going on. And in between, whatever the question that this Vyadha asked, that how does this happen? How does this Jagrata Swapna Avastha that exist? How does this Jiva Bhava exist? And that is where that Muni also tells him that even when I wanted to know the answer for this, I was not aware that Viveka was not yet Jagrat. So I wanted to get into some other and see it. How does that happen? That is where I did all the yoga, pranayama, meditation, and all this. I practiced those techniques which could give me that siddhi to do the parakaya pravesh. Parakaya pravesh means getting into someone else's chitta, getting into someone else's body. That is what is called as parakaya. Kaya means shari. Parakaya pravesh means getting into someone else's body and experiencing it. So this is exactly what I did. I practiced all that. And then I entered into one of my disciples' body, and after that, then I have seen what is the internal structure, all the skeleton, and what is there inside the body, everything. After that, I got into subtle level, and I become one with his chitta also. And then after that, in that chitta, then I experienced multiple modulations such as Jagrata Avastha, Swapna Avastha, Nidra Avastha, and then even the Turiya Avastha. And after experiencing all these things, now I want to experience something called as the Jiva Bhava, that Chaitanya Avastha, how that Jiva Bhava comes into picture. For that, now I wanted to see that. So that is where our next chapter continues over here. So let's look at it, what is there to come there for us here. So here Vaashishtha Muni addresses to Rama. Rama, like this, after doing his that Parakaya Pravesh, getting into his disciple's body, that point of time, that Muni, that was curious Muni, he experienced, he is now telling to the Vyadha. Now that the conversation is between the Vyadh, the hunter, and the Muni. So he told to the Vyadha, like this, from the Jagruti Avastha till Turiya Avastha, all the four Avasthas, the deeper meaning of that thing, how that practically happens, I really got the insights of that. And now the next step is what? Now I wanted to go and become one with the Samvid. Samvid means that jani, that awareness, or that Chaitanya. So I wanted to become one with that Chaitanya which is there in him. So if you see it from a individual consciousness perspective, we call it the Jiva Bhava, that Jiva, that individual consciousness. And I put the effort. So it's just like that, if there is a fragrance of that is there, and like that fragrance that which flows in the air, and if that enters in the pushpa, it enters into the lotus flower, and after getting inside that, how does that value, how does that air, and how does that fragrance becomes one with that flower? exactly like that only I entered from that thing. Till now we have been given example that okay, there is a lotus flower and the fragrance of that spreads. Now there is exactly opposite process is happening here. The fragrance means that outside Muni, who is in the form of prana plus chitta, jiva bhava, now he is entering into his body, and just like that, the fragrance will become one with the lotus. That is how it becomes one. That is what it wanted to do now. So that is where he went and he experienced that Chidabhasa, that Jiva Rupa. He wanted to get entry into there so that he can experience that also. Now this is going into more deeper. So just look at it that till this point of time we have never thought that okay, how that Chaitanya is, and we have always spoke about it, something which is not knowable, something which is not visible, something which we cannot just can be only experience, cannot express in word. That is something which this Muni wants to experience and goes into that. So that is what is very beautifully explained here. So that is the point of time he says that like that after living his that Tejomai Dhatu, that I came out of that, and then I experienced that this Indriya is there, that Samvidruti, it happened like that, that Vritti wanted to go out. I wanted to go out of his body because those Vishayas, those Chaitya that were calling me off, and then I just have a control on me, and then I, without going into outside, I just controlled all these things. Again, took them inside. Balapurvak means I used some yuktis and I applied that. Like that, the moment the oil drop that falls onto the water, how does it spread? Like that, my chitta got spread, means he become calm. Like that. And at that point of time, my samvid, that my awareness, that jiva bhava, it got dissolved into that. So that is, then he says that I continue to go deeper and deeper like this. That point of time, that chidabhasa, that samvid, that janiv, that jiva tattva, that was there. I wanted to get that one with the jiva bhava, the samvid or the awareness of my disciple. That is the way it is, right? Otherwise, how will you experience that oneness? We didn't know how will you experience that what is going on. That is what I wanted to do. And then I saw when these two jiva bhava that came together near, I saw it is just there are two brahmandas. No, there were two srishtis that I saw. There are two universes I saw. Each one of them had their own sun, moon, all the dishas, directions, all the mandalas, all the Swarga Bhumi, everything it appeared to me as there are two. There are two universes, like two parallel universes which are there. Like the sthiti I experience. Then after that, because of this is just like that, something which is there, one as the way we see that there are two moons that appear sometimes in the sky, it has that kind of sthiti, and that is where I experienced that. And then I went ahead, and then I wanted to become one with that thing, and then I started looking at it from the Atma, that Atma Swarupa perspective. So just like the one, the smaller or the one river goes and gets become submerged into another river, and then that flow continues, like the river Ganges and this at the Prayagraj, they become one, and then that continues. So like that, this sthiti I have experienced. Just like that, in the different seasons, how does that all the fragrance that come together and becomes one with the air, like that sthiti, that because of that dushita drishti, because of that vision was not yet clear, I saw that there are two moons, there are two srishtis. But after that, once that vasana that became one with that samvid, then that point of time, this all these two appearing two things became one, and then I just became that same samvidin, same jiva bhava as of my disciple. And then that point of time, yet that self-awareness, it was not yet left, that was still there in that chiti, and in doing my own swatah, that sankalpa vasana upadhi, that started diminishing. And when that completely that diminished, that prana, that sankalpa sthiti of that prana also slowly and gradually diminish, and then that chitta vritti, that also slowly and gradually diminishes, and then into that hridaya, into that bahya shabdadi anubhav, that is the whatever is that that particular jiva bhava, as he has done all the routine, his daily work, and then he has gone into the deep sleep. He slept down. So as I was also I was just like him, even I also along with him, everything just kept that, and then I also went into the deep sleep. He ate his food, and after that he went to the deep sleep. So even I also went into the completely deep sleep. That chitta, it become the antaryami, it into the antaratma, into that jiva bhava, it also dissolved. So like that, the one tortoise, how does it pulls all over its body parts and just rest beside. So like that, all its chitta and all its indriyas, five senses, and its tendencies, that also just hided itself into the hridaya akasha. Now what is happening here? Now that nidra avastha is explained in detail. What does happen when we sleep? Now this is what happens. No, all their five senses, they just drop, all its activity drop, then all the five senses and its tendencies to go outward also drops, then all that comes to the inner body, inner subtle body, that chitta and its acting, going into the thought process, that also diminishes, that also drops, even the feelings also drops, and then you completely gets into that avastha, just like you are now sleeping like a clay, that idol, that thing, you will just sleep like that, you will just be like that, just like that, something which is drawn in the drawing, and does that act anything? It doesn't act anything. Like that vyaparishan, that there is no communication happening, like that nistabda, no? I become nistabda by leaving behind all the vrittis, all the tendencies of chitta, leaving behind all the indriyas, as though they don't exist. Like that, in the hridaya akasha, into that thing, I become one with that. So leaving behind all the bahya and antar. Means bahya means the indriyas, the five senses, and the antar means the chitta, at the level of chitta. Both of them I left behind, and it become one with that tejomay oja. So for some point of time, I just experienced the sushupti avastha. So he explained the nidra, that sleep, more further detail. I experienced that sushupti avastha. Then after that, after all the food is digested, after that there is the spandan that is started happening into that prana, that spandan, and during this sleep also, that prana spandan also will be very very, as if very feeble. It will not be too heavy, breathings will not be there. It will be very feeble breathing that will just keep on going, and that is what is that anubhava, that ananda kosha, that blissful state I did. And that point of time, out of those five vayus, no, we have seen the pancha prana, out of that samana vayu, which was just in a very feeble state, it was just happening, and that thing will continue. So that point of time, that sthiti of the prana, that goes into the sarvottam sthiti. No? So if you see it from the sushupta avastha, that point of time, that prana and its chanchalta, that spandan, that vibration and this activity, leaving that behind, it has got into the sama avastha. It has established itself into the equanimous state. So this is what exactly we need to do. Whatever the sushupti avastha is there, that is in the nidra, that is in the sleep. What we have to do while doing our day-to-day routine activities, whenever you are doing your all actions, you need to establish yourself into the exactly similar type of sthiti, avastha, which is there in the nidra avastha, but yet you are not sleeping and you are fully aware. And then in that sthiti, you have that equanimous state where you will not be able to do any other things. So like that, in that sthiti only I experienced this, and that point of time, this chitta was completely diminished into the atma parayana, and that time I only became atma bhimukha. My whole attention was only in the Chaitanya Swarupa, and then I become one with that atma, and then that is how into that hridaya akasha, that chitta, that prana also become one with that. Into that jiva bhava, it become one with that. Because of that pratyagatma, that jivatma, that chaitanya, that prana having this sama, advaita, non-dual state, akshobhara, means there is no there is no nothing of this sort, of that sort. Shobhara avastha, that is what is the swast, that is what is the mool, that is what is the root, aswabhava avastha, and that is the sarvottam ananda, that is the paramananda, that is the bliss, is what one experiences in that particular state. That point of time, if you see that all the tendencies are dropped, it has become one with your pratyagatma, and in this sushupti avastha, this vishayagrana, vikshepa, that thing is also not there. It is that levelation, nothing of sort that exists there. Such a niratishay ananda, such a blissful state one experience into that thing. That point of time, there is no other kritya, there is no action, there is no experience that is there in this. Now, listening to this, Prabhu Ramchandraji also asked one question that, hey Mune, like this, whatever you have said, Bhagwan, in this Jagruti Avastha and in this Swapna Avastha, this Chitta is there. And then there is also Prana. So if you see that Prana, then that also has a connection with your mind and the Ityadi, etc., all the Vyavaharas, all the Spandan, all the actions that keeps happening there, no? All the movements that keeps happening there, it is all happens because of the Prana. So if the Prana is not there, then the movements of the mind also should not happen, because there is a very strong connection between your Prana and your mind. So is it like that? He is putting up a question. So in the Sushupti Avastha, when we say that the Prana, it was completely engrossed by that thing and it was not doing any manana. Means that mind was not getting entangled into any activities of that, no thought, no sankalpa, no vikalpa, that kind of situation arise. That point of time, this prana is something different, and then it doesn't have in its own swarupa, right? The prana is become very feeble. That point of time, that existence of the mind, that do we really understand that, or we don't understand that? And then in such a situation, can we say that this prana is the pradhana system, is that prana is the sreshta because it is controlling the mind? No. So he puts up all these questions. So now here we are exploring the connection between the breath and the mind, which we have experienced in the Art of Living courses also. But here it is going into more subtler and more deeper aspect of the connection between the prana and the mind, where multiple aspects it is being explained over here. Let us look at it. So this is the question, is that Rama, if you really look at it from the perspective of the Adhisthana of the Chaitanya, or that Sada Brahma, this Deha is not there. So if you really want to understand this, you really need to get into all the aspects of your existence and then see where does the body comes into picture, where does the prana come into picture, where does your man comes into picture, where does the chitta comes into picture, and where does the chaitya comes into picture, and then where does the chit, that is your awareness, that samvid, that jani, just atma that we say, where that comes into picture. You really need to understand each and everything in totality, so that you can really get to the crux of that. What is the relation between your prana and your mind? That is very important for us to really understand that. That is what he says, that in reality, if you see from that perspective, your deha doesn't exist, your body doesn't exist. Your mind doesn't exist, that also doesn't exist. Then your prana doesn't exist, your prana is also near there. Your jaga, what you see as the universe, that world, does that exist? That also does not exist. That world also does not exist. So from this perspective, if you see, all these things doesn't have any meaning. It's just the Chaitanya in which all these things are happening in a very bhasman, means in an imaginated manner. That is what is there. But then what is happening here, if you see it from that perspective, from that satta perspective, this sakshat anubhav, that experience of these things is when it comes when you think that this deha, this body is different than your mind. No? But this deha itself is not there, it is not there. Then like that, where what is it that we should say? Then how does your swapna, that thing, how does in the swapna, how does that whole big mountain that appears? So it is just purely because of the manas kalpana. It is just the imagination, right? That point of time, nothing of that sort exists. Yes, you will imagine that. So sharir is not there, yet your mind is working, functioning, and yet you are able to see the mountain like that. So that point of time, if you say from a perspective of these Vishayas, all these five senses, and the Chaitya, that is the first thing that appears out of Chaitanya, in that, obviously in that Padartha, there is abhava of mana, chitta. Where is it? It obviously, it's not there, that point of time. But let us look at it that for perspective of prana now, and from the perspective of mana sankalpa. Now he says that if you see it from the perspective of that there is this Akasha Sarupa, there is this space, and into there is this Chaitanya Atma. At the start, this Chitta is becomes the prana. This Chitta itself takes the root of the prana. Then that point of the Chitta, which gets into the this Purusha, means gets into the body, this into the body Sarupa. That point of time, it first time gets into the Prana Yukta. No, that is the point of time you experience the breath. Till that point of time, there is no, this prana does not come into picture. Then in this Deha Yukta body, then at point of time, because of that Chitta, all this Tribhuvana Rupa, all these things, different things, that thing gets formed. Means if you see it from Rama, from this perspective of understanding, this Chitta is the Adya Jagat Karta. No? So this is the reality, is this Chitta. This Chitta, which is a combination of your Buddhi, intellect, mind, man, your ahankar, and your smriti, your memory, and your ahankar, ego sense. Combined together, Chit, this is the origin, this is the one. Because of it, this Jagat is formed, but yet that Jagat cannot exist without that Chaitanya, which is the source of everything. So like that, if you see the prana, for the prana, also Prerak is what? It is that prana vayu, it is that Chitta only is the source of this prana also. So because of that thing, if you see it from the perspective of this perspective, the mind which is there, man is there, and from the perspective of Atma, the Chaitanya is there. This samsara is just having done this kalpana of the prana vayu. In reality, this prana vayu is also not real. It is also just a kalpana that is being said. No, so this is what say this Pancha Mahabhuta. That is also just a kalpana of the Chitta, of the Supreme Chitta, that is the Chidakasha. So that is the Brahmadeva's Chidakasha, or that is what you can say, it is the kalpana of that. So even this prana is also not real. Now this appears very absurd, right? This prana is also not real. How is it? Then he gives an example to make us understand this. See, say this is, see, for example, you are now sleeping, okay, and then you are watching a dream, and then in that dream you experience something. In your dream you watch anything. That point of time, this prana, is that prana there in your dream? It's not there, right? Yet the characters in that dream, they are doing all the activities, they are doing everything. No, now prana is not there. Despite of that, all that things are happening in your mind. So that is where says this, your man or your chitta is much bigger than this your prana. It is much bigger than your sharir, and that is what Gurudev tells us, that your what is it that you say, your mind is there inside the body. Gurudev, what he explains, no, it's not there inside your body. Your mind is much bigger than your body. Your mind, your man, your mind encapsulates your body. This is what is exactly been explained here, that your chitta, your man, is much bigger than your sharira, or in your breath, that pranavayu. It is bigger than that. It is the chitta which has imagined this prana. So because of that, when you are at the level of chitta and you are watching the dream, even though there is no prana, it still can function in your dream. That like this you see. So this is the point of time he says that even this indriyas, the five senses, the body, that thing also comes into existence just like imaginated matter, just like a bhasamana sthiti that comes into picture. But it's again the kalpanik padartha. It's just a sankalpa of that chitta where we experience this murtha. The physicalness, thulanes, and amurta, that subtle things. That is what it comes into the chitta rupa. That chitta, in this only this atma chetana, this our self-awareness looks at it as if it exists like that. So like this, when the chitta of the prana, that when it does that sankalpa, that this prana is doing all the day-to-day routine thing, it is important that, and because of that thing only all these things are happening. And then there is this drudha nishchaya that happens into the jiva bhava, that if this prana is not there, then I will not exist. Because what is that who is saying this? It is the chitta which is saying, has assumed the root of swarupa of the sthula sharira body. And what does this body say? When the prana is not there, I will also not exist. I will not be able to. Like this kalpana, who has done this kalpana? It is done by your chitta. Chitta thought it like this, so it becomes niyati. So that is the reason when your prana goes, you are not able to function. Who has given this idea to that thing, that prana? It is given by the chitta only. If chitta said that, okay, the function for this body, this prana is required, unless this prana is here, this body will continue to function. Like that, this chitta have decided. That point of time, this in this avastha, if this prana, if it says that in this avastha, I will be able to stay even without this prana, then this kalpana is also of chitta only. And that is why into the swapna, into the dream, into the manorajya, in that avastha, in that srishti, even if there is no prana, yet that srishti will act as if it is jagrata. And all the routine also that will also keep happening over there. But there is no prana, because this sankalpana prana is initiated by chitta only. So chitta is on the bigger level. No, something which is near. So if you see the chronological order, it is the Chaitanya. In the Chaitanya, there is a Chaitya, that's Puran. In the Chaitya, to express itself and something different, Chidakasha comes into the picture. That Chidakasha gets into the form of the Chitta. That Chidakasha means the Chitta of the Brahmadeva. That Chidakasha, that out even after that, above there is a Chidakasha. A Chidakasha is of the Chaitanya. In that Chidakasha, the Chitta Akasha of Brahmadeva comes into picture, and then the Brahmadeva's stula body, akruti, all that comes into picture. Inside that Brahmadeva's Chitta Akasha, all this Brahmanda, that thing, all this comes into picture. It's all imaginated, nothing of physical sort of actually happened. It's all imaginated into all these things, and then that Brahmadeva has all the aspects of existence. And then in that, in his Brahmanda, in his universe, in his Chitta Akasha, our own Chitta Akasha comes into picture. And in that Chitta Akasha is all the subtler intellect, these four things that we saw, and they take the form of the prana. That is why the level of existence, that comes second class. Even above that comes mind, even above that comes buddhi, even above that comes your smriti, even above that comes your cells, because four things put together forms your chitta, and your breath comes at the second level. And after breath, after prana, when this pancha mahabhuta and all these things comes into picture, your prana comes into picture, then your stula body, then your sharir comes into picture. And that is how the birth also happens. All these things happen in that same chronological order. So chitta is, it's not the prana which is the prayer, it's the prana which is the control of chitta. It's in fact either way around. It is the chitta that is formulated the prana, formulated the body, the sharira. That's what the chronology. So this becomes very clear to us now, right? So it is the chitta, it's at that level, that is it. So whatever you express, the answer for that, it is the chitta. It is the chitta. So we see from prana and the chitta, which is kalpit in the Vyadh, that also comes with. And if you see at any point of time, this prana and the their body, that it can stay without also, if chitta can continue to stay like that. So in this Jiva Drudha Sankalpa, this Drudha Sankalpa has become firm in that, oh, that I am this body, I will not be there, I will not be without and because of that, the sankalpa only, that sharira, as death happens, as soon as prana is left the body. Because it has made sankalpa so it is niyati. Why the fire burns? It is niyati of the fire to burn. Why this body leaves when its prana left? It is the niyati. It is being, that is how it is been programmed by chitta. That is how it has evaporated. So it happens like that. But in the swapna, it imagines something else. So it is like that with the prana. So all the things functions over there. Like that, it is very explained here. So like this says that such a ajnana, such a ignorance, such a avidya which is there, for that avidya, the small prayatna, the alpa prayatna, it will not diminish. This avidya, just because of your small prayatna, it will not go off. That you have to do your purushartha. You have to continue to understand this in its totality, and small little knowledge here and there, small little of experiences here and there will not make you realize your atmanubhava, that is thing. And it might create the very momentarily vairagya, that is passion, you'll get into feeling of that will all remain there, but yet you will not be able to reach to your atma sarupa, your own self, you will not think, and then again you will get into the all this mithya, this elusive world, and gets into the all the dukkha and all that. That is till that satya, that jnana, that atma jnana, that has become your drida nishchaya, till that point of time, there is no scope. So he explains that this bhranti jnana, this avidya is so, this is so drid, it is so, we have seen into the story of Vipshchit how far its spread is there. Because of the alpa vikalpa, this will not be diminished. Like that, this deha is me, I am this body, and I am these things, like that, these things are mine. Like that, whatever the drida nishchaya, because of the lots of past sanskaras we have made on us, this thing, because of that, this bhranti, that atma vidya, that atma swarupa, that anubhava, that experience, unless until that becomes firmly established in us, till that point of time, there is no other upaya. This is the only way. No, this mokshapaya, this vichara, this knowledge, unless until it becomes siddha, unless until it becomes as your own experience, there is no way out. So he explained that in this moksha upaya, this we have to do with very bhagirat prayatna, with very good amount of effort. We have to continue to do this vichara. What is vichara? Me aham means this I am, and this sarvadrisha, this outer scenery, is idam. Both this aham and idam, both are two types of avidya. What are the two avidyas here we face in our life? So he said the first one is me, or that aham, that I exist. My existence is there. This is the one first avidya, and the second vidya is this sarvadrisha is idam. This drishya is there. Like this, these are the two of them. Other than that, there is no third avidya. These are the only two avidyas that one gets stuck into. And for this, to get oneself free from this avidya, moksha upaya, that moksha upaya and its sadhana. There is no other solution that exists. Like this you remember very firmly. No, there is no other solution to this. You have to get into self-realization. You have to get into Atma-jnana. You have to experience your own self. Then only you will be able to leave this avidyas behind. Me, that I am, aham, and this sarva, this drishya, sarva idam. You have to get out of that. And then because of the prana nirodha, abhyasa, this atma sammukta is not. So this is so what is it that you have to do? You have to continuously contemplate on your thought process. You need to continually contemplate and do your practices of the nirodha of your prana. So that is thing. If you see it from that perspective, you see this Paramapada, that your own swarupa, that your swarupa, self-realization, it is completely dependent upon this sankalpa. Dirgha kala, for over a period of time, this make this dhruta nishchaya, this mana, that mind is that prana nidhan, it is dependent on that, and in that prana, where it is all flowing through, in that deha, it has become one with that sankalpa. Because of that sankalpa, whenever there is a movement of this prana, it happens, that point of time, the activities of the mind, vyaparas of the mind, that continues, and the deha and the day-to-day routine work, that continues, and the karma, that keeps on going. Like this, this is an outward going direction, no, Bahirmukhi thinking. Then in that perspective, this deha is there, and this bahya vishaya, this bahya things are going out, things which are going. We see it from the perspective of that asvasthata, that aggressiveness, that not experiencing the peace, that comes into picture into your mind and into your prana, that because of these two things, we are not able to separate them out. And if you really get into the Swa Sankalpa of your own self and get your prana into the sama, into the equanimous state, and make it peaceful, calm, then that in that avastha, then this is called as antarmukha. It is like getting yourself into inside instead of outside, and that point of time, in this sthiti of antarmukha bhava, once you establish into this, that is the point of time, this atmadarshi, that is the point of time you become self-realized. No? So if you see the prana nirodha, no, that three-stage prana is what we do, prana nirodha, yoga chitta vritti nirodha. This chitta vritti, chitta means your all this combination of these four, this its tendencies, the vrittis of that, tendencies of that, what is it that can do? So it's the yoga, that is yoga, that pranayama, yoga, sadhanas, that thing will help you. Without that, this atmajnana, that thing is, you will not realize it. You will not go inside, and then you will not be able to experience yourself. Like that, in this prana and in this mind, because of that mind, because of that prana avastha, we will not experience that peace. It will always keep you acting, doing. I am something, I'm identifying yourself with something. And because of this reason, Gurudev has given those three very important principles. What is it that I'm doing? If you want to experience yourself, what is it that you need to do? I am nothing. Drop this. Me, I am nothing. Then only you can experience yourself. Then I'm doing nothing. I'm being negated. Nothing. And then I want nothing. It is not that I want moksha. I want this, I want that. I don't want anything. Whatever is there with me. Fine. So those are the three Moola mantras of making you meet yourself. So once you apply this, once you contemplate on this, once you do the study of this over and again, through pranayama, through breathing exercises, through the sudarshan kriya, through the seva, through the satsang, through the sadhana, through the knowledge, then over a period of time, it will be very firmly established, and you'll experience that. That is what has been explained over here. So it's so amazing. So it will continue to explain all those Jagrata Avastha, the Swapna Avastha, and the Sushupti Avastha. Explain that if you see it from all the perspective, then all your vyavaras, all your day-to-day routine which are being acted by your body, and that point of time, this prana and this mana, that has come together, and when it has come into the equanimous state with each other, that point of time, whatever the actions that you keep doing, that point of time, that is called a Jagrati Avastha. When this prana and its indriya, all the five senses and its tendencies are that it has dropped, that when your indriyas have stopped, and that point of time, still your mind and this prana is into Vishama Avastha. They are not aligned with each other. That point of time, your mana is doing karya, but your indriyas are not doing any karya. That point of time, in this Vishama Avastha, what you see is called as Swapna Avastha. when you see that this mana, this mind has become purely peaceful, it has dissolved itself, and that point of view, prana is happening very simple. All the there is no action of your India, and you're completely experiencing a deep state of yourself. That avastha is called as Sushupti avastha. And in all these things, in all these avasthas, when you experience this manaspanda and its vibration, and in that is the mool of this prana. So there is aberration is going on inside your mind. That point of time you experience here prana. So they are very interlinked with each other, the prana and the mind. And because of that, Guru says, directly, if you are not able to control your mind, use your breath to control your mind. So that is very important. But the existence of breath is also because of chitta only. It's not the breath which is the final controller of your chitta. It is not like that. It is your chitta which is very, very powerful. And then, yes, definitely, as it's very tightly coupled with it, we see the impact of one on each other. That is all there. That is something which we have experienced it now. It's there. So in this Swapna Avastha, then he explained that in this Swapna Avastha, when I entered into his body, that is where he comes back to the main thing after explaining this knowledge. This Siddha comes back to the main thing. He explains that when I entered into his Jiva Bhava, that point of time when this Swapna Avastha was there, I also entered into his Swapna Avastha. And then that point of time, I saw that into his Swapna Avastha, I see the different srishtis, different mega vrikshi, and then there was lot of that tsunami that has happened, and along with his jiva, I was also flowing along with his that tsunami. And just I was going here and there, and I experienced so many different that tsunami was flowing through. I saw so many villages, and so taking it at that point of time. After that, I went saw I one of the gruvastha into one of the village. Now what is happening? You see, the Jiva Bhava of Siddha inside the Swapna, inside the dream of the Shishya. Now that Vrishti happens, the rainfall happens, tsunami comes, and his Jiva Bhava is going through. That in his Swapna, he sees himself that his Jiva himself has the being as Vrishta over there, and he starts staying into the one of the thing, and that is where he saw after that, after going through all this pain, he got into this, he remembers his Mula Swarupa. Then he explained, oh, this is what I am there, I am in the different Jaga, I am there in the different universe, but this is what I am. So that Swapna, no, that is what I have experienced. And at that point of time, then as the moment I became aware, I was also just like that Vaashishtha Muni saw the pralaya inside the shila, inside the stone. Now this Chida Bhava, Jani, that's Chaitanya Rupisa, now what is happening inside the dream of that Shishya. And now that point of time, he is just witnessing it. He saw that all the other people and this is a very important point here. See, he said that the moment I got into my own awareness, then all the dukkha and kashta that I was experiencing when I was flowing along with it, that immediately all that dukkha, that kashta, immediately that diminished. This is a very important takeaway. So the moment he realized that whatever I was going through was just a dream, and that too not my own dream, someone else's dream, that moment he became free. That moment he become mukti and moksha. What is mukti and moksha? It's the same thing. It is just awareness, that's observing that whatever is going on is just a dream, and someone else's dream. My purpose is different. I come from somewhere. I am someone else. I am there. I am watching. All these things are happening. No, the moment like this, he saw all the anartha, all things there, all the people were dying, all the things were, all the tsunami that pralaya was going. Now, what was happening? Earlier, when he thought that he is the part of that, now he is seeing and watching a movie. All the things are happening, but he is thinking that, okay, just like a chalachitra, I'm watching a movie, all these are happening. So do we get affected by it? No. Another solution, another technique to make yourself free. Oh, all these things is just going on like a dream, just like going on like a chalachitra, just like a movie. Like that, when after listening to this, one of the tapas that Vyadha asks in the question, no, Bhagwan, how come the person who has all the yoga siddhis, all these nana avasthas, your experience, all the dharma that you have got into, how come that have happened? You are already sadhu, no? You are already, and you have already done all this dhyana, the yoga, etc. How does this bhranti picture, and how did you do the upasham of that? How did you got out of it? Such an important question here. So that is the point of time this Muni gives him answer that look what happens in such a kalpanta thing. Many times you don't even get time to think. I was there combined as a jiva with jiva bhava, and into his dream suddenly this vrishti, that rainfall has happened, and suddenly there was a tsunami. Whatever I had any chance to even contemplate or even think about it, I just happened to flow with that. And Gurudev explained this in Ashtavakra Gita when says that tsunami of that emotions comes to the picture if knowledge doesn't stand. You tend to forget who you are. You are much more powerful than that. Forget it, and then you get overflow with that situation. That is what is being explained here. In such a situation, of when the pralaya is happening, the kalpanta is happening, and there's such a vidvansa, all these things are destruction is happening. That point of time, that bhranti rupa, this vishwa is getting diminished. That point in that nasha, this akash avasa sarupa, even that pachit laya, that krama, nasha, that point of time, this disha, all this direction are giving trace, and the sarvanash, that everything is getting. Sometimes it happens into the chronological order, but sometimes I also have achana. It just achana, just like that he experienced that is one that he experienced the dream of that. In that dream, that rainfall happens and tsunami happens. So it's all that playa is not going through the chronological order. It just suddenly started happening. We no matter of fact just happening, and that point of time, this doing something. And even in such a situation, even the devas, the samuha, the gods, also they also do not have a chance to go and pray to the Brahma Deva. They also start flowing into this. That is the condition of even all these devas, gods. Who am I? I was just an ordinary person in that. So what is it my thing? So like this, in such a Vyadha, in such a kind of this Sarvanasha, that point of time, whatever has to happen anyway happens. You don't have any control on that. So whether you are a yogi, whether you are a god, or either into the matter of pranaya, everybody will go in that. So in such a nasha upasthiti, that thing, all the even bala, all the poor people who have done all these practices and they have such a bala buddhi, they are very powerful. That also their mana buddhi, all these things, it will become kundit, it will become it will diminish, it will not work. They won't even get chance to make it work. So this was the experience of this. So now this Vyadha, he says, okay, fine, I understand this. This doesn't matter. Why is that you telling me this? What is the prayojan? What is an objective of telling me this? What is the knowledge that you are trying to teach me out of these things? Why is that you are telling me this? So this is where the this Vyadha asked this question to him, Bhagwan, in this Jiva Kalyana, in this Swapna, whatever the avasthas you have seen, and that point of time, even the Vivek, that power of discrimination also did not come to in that Swapna avastha. What is the name of that? What is it? Why is that? You're telling me this story, and in such a situation, this what is the kalyana of that jiva? What is the sara? What is it there? Because of which, how does we can remove this vikshepa, remove this swapna brahma? Kindly explain me that. Really, tell me that thing into detail. I would like to really, and what is the real meaning of this story? Kindly explain to me that. Now, such a beautiful question, intelligent question. After listening to that, Muni says that, hey, Buddhimana, Vyadha. Now he is also addressing it. That you got it correct. Now let me tell you the why did I tell you all these things. What is the bodh? What is the real gist of this story, which I want to share with you. So if you look at it from this perspective, and if you analyze all this drishya and its experiences along with it, which I have explained to you, if you see it from the perspective of that swapna prapancha, that's whatever this drishya, that brahmatma, that elusive thing that has appeared in front of me, if you have understood, if you will be able to realize in a very spashta manner, in a very clear manner, that sara, the essence of that is this, all the drishya that is appearing to you is just a brahma, it's just an illusion, it is just an bhranti. That is what it will make you understand. And then once you do the niras, once you drop that, then what you become is that adraka drishta, you will become that shuddha nirvishaya knowledge sarup purusha avishisha. That is what will remain. And if you see from that perspective, all this anvaya, all these things, all this drishya, the scenery that is appearing in front of you, doing the abhava of that, abhavatma, means when you do drop that, I have explained you these things in detail, and that point of time, all this jaga, all this universe is exactly the Brahma Rupa. It is into the just the form of Brahma Rupa. Like that, I want to tell you. And then for that also there is a niyati. Certain things are just like that. They are that is the how their qualities and dharmas are there. That niyati is also being there. And this vyavastha, all these things, situation and this srishti is created like this. So in this kshana, in this moment, if you experience that this everything is there, it's just like Brahman, and without Brahman nothing is there, then this everything will become the shunyatma. How is that? That I have explained you in a both the perspective. I told you this. Such a beautiful insight about it. So then he continued to explain that in this Shishya and his Swapna, this Muni also sees another Swapna. He says that inside this Vyadha, when I inside entered into that Pralaya and I observed all this Vilakshan Dusta, after that into that Jala I started feeling, and after that I entered into one of the Muni's ashrama. Now who is entering? The one Muni has entered into the body of our Kaya Pravesh of the disciple. In that disciple's Swapna, now he sees the Pralaya, and in that Pralaya, this Muni enters into some other Muni's ashram over there. Inside one Swapna, there is another Swapna. Now this is so beautiful. This is where the concept of Inception movie comes into picture. Now there is one Chitta, there's one Jiva who has entered into someone else's body. Means the one Drishya is there, one Jagruta Avastha is there, and the body of that Muni is there. The second level is entering into the inside of the Shishya disciple. In that there is a dream, that is the third level. And inside that dream, now he starts looking at one more dream. So that is a fourth level of thing that is going on in this thing. And why we have to understand this will become very obvious. We'll discuss that. So he says that I entered into that Muni ashram, and because of all these things which I have experienced because of this tsunami, I went there, I had my food over there, and then as soon as I got a chance, I got into deep sleep, and into that deep sleep, then I saw because of that vasana, because of that thing, I experienced one more time that klesha, and then in that thing I experienced one more pradesha. I experienced one more land over there, and in that swapna, the other thing, that pralaya, was not existing at all. I started looking at something new drishti, some new srishti into my own swapna. So like this, in one of the swapna bhumi, in the next day, in my swapna bhumi, the next day, I saw there is this Surya is there, then that bhumi, Swachha bhumi is there, and all this Akasha, Parvata, all these bhuvanas, all the vrukshas, all the flowers, and all the trees, etc., that I saw into my that, and that Mahapralaya that I experienced into his swapna, that had no impact here. It was completely fresh and completely new srishti. Like that, all these things, that bhayavaha lok, that anubhava, that was not there. And in that swapna, I became a 16-year-old thing, and I had my father and mother, and then I had my own home over there, and like that I saw that thing into my dream. Means that now just understand this, that how the things happens. So this is exactly happens with us also. This is exactly is what we are also going through. No, because of that, and in that thing I spent 100 years. No, like this, I stayed into that his own dream. He spends 100 years into that dream, that level of dream. He will spend 100 years, and then after that, some point of time, he gets into this contemplation. He gets into this vichara, that who am I? Why am I here? What is the purpose of this? What is this? All these things, patni and this type, these things, this. Then once I started contemplating on this into this swapna, that point of time I got to realize about my own Atma Jnana. I came out of that Swapna Avastha to his Swapna Avastha. I came out of his Swapna Avastha into my just an awareness Avastha, Chaitanya Avastha. And then after that, experiencing all these things. And then I wanted to go out now. And then I started searching for the that mukha, that outer direction, but I did not see. Then I just got myself hooked onto the prana. So he did the inhalation, and then when he was exhaling, I just got associated with it, and along with his prana, I also came out of his body. And then that is where I saw all the other my disciples. They were taking care of my body. Well, they did not anything happen to that body. So remember yesterday when such a thing came of practicing at home, we need to make sure that your body will remain intact. Till that point of time, your body will remain intact. And then I experienced this, and along with that pranavayu, I entered into my own body. That is how this particular conclude chapter. And then he tells that whatever that all this thing that has happened inside here in this body, it was just one muhurta that has passed. Just one muhurta, few hours has passed here. In all these things, in that time frame, he experienced all that because of the level 1, level 2, level 3, 100 years in the 4th level, 100 years passes over there, and here it is just one muhurta that is passed out. So this is that sapikshata, that time sapikshata also comes into picture, which we also saw inside the inception moon. Same concept was used there in the moon. Such a beautiful, such a insightful knowledge. No? It is so amazing. I'd like to take a pause here. I'd like to hand over this session to all of you. You will be able to unmute yourself. Unmute option is already available. You are welcome to unmute yourself. If you have any question, you are welcome to ask that. Or if you'd like to express your contribution, your takeaways, you are welcome to do that also. Over to you all. Jai Gurudev.
Hello, Jai Gurudev. Yes.
Jai.
Yeah. So, it was so amazing. It was like I was seeing a fairy tale movie, बचपन में कार्टून देखते थे ना, वैसे ही देख रहे थे, एक से निकला, इसमें गया, वो हुआ, ये हुआ, माउंटेन पे गया, ऐसा हुआ, वैसा. So it was all so lively, but good to hear it from you. We can't do all these things. I don't know whether we can really do it or no, but it was amazing. Somewhere the whole gist of it is, the minute you अपने स्वप्नों से जो जाग जाता है, जो awareness में आ जाता है, and that's it. The whole story ends there, मतलब out. The minute you awaken in this knowledge कि only Brahman is there and I am that thou art. If you just, the minute you rise into that consciousness, everything is gone, khatam, then it's a dream. So even here, if we are spending 100 years and listening to this and all, so the same thing he was, in that form he was there. But just 2-3 hours must have passed, it must be a dream for him, which chose to be 100 years, or like those million years where he was in that one thing only. So that ignorance, you are like a million years in that only. But the minute you start awakening, it happens. You can see the dream, you go ahead, and then you experience that. So till you experience that, and then when everything becomes just that consciousness for you, that luminous state of mind, that mind turns into, not even turns, it just merges into that drop merges into that ocean, is the whole story about it. Otherwise you keep on experiencing all these are the rides, I can tell you. Even if you go in an amusing park, I can relate to that also. These were the rides you were taking us. It became like this, all, like this chidaka, this, that. So all bumps and ups and downs and all, just to shake yourself, to come up to that experience. That is what all it is. So it's very beautiful, and I really loved it. There are many more experiences, but the ultimate is that you have to awaken yourself. When the minute you are awakened, everything just disappears. It is already a dream. We are in that dream also, and we are experiencing it to be appears to be real, but the world is just an appearance, nothing else. Nothing else. So very beautiful, Someshwarji, and the way you have, just put up and painted the picture, it is very, very beautiful. Thank you. Jai Gurudev.
So along with this very beautiful and important takeaway that it's all dream and you're free out of that. But along with that, there is a very intricate details that we saw. So I forgot to mention that story. Let me share that story with you now. So once upon a time happened, it was Shankaracharya. So we all know Shankaracharya. In everyday Guru Puja, we take his name. So he was the one who revived this knowledge onto this planet. So that is Sadashiv Kamaramba, Shankaracharya Madhyama, Asmat Shri Pariyanta. Now it's our Gurudev who is reviving this. So he was there to revive this. So that point of time he traveled, and wherever he used to go, he used to do the Shastra. So he used to say that, okay, this is what teachings are. If you don't agree, you are welcome. Come on, let us discuss. That is called the Shastra. So let's come and discuss it. So he said that if you convince me, I will become your disciple, and if I convince me, you walk on this path. That is what will uplift you in your life. You'll become free. It's a simple proposal. That okay, you either convince me, I will become free on your path, or you listen to me, I will be convinced from your path. It was simple thought of like that. So once upon a time he goes to, there is something called as Mandan Mishra. This Mandan Mishra is following his own teachings and he doesn't agree. So they both of them sits together, and then there is Shastrartha that happens. So the challenge was that if he wins, he will be his disciple, and if he wins, he will become his disciple. That's the challenge. Both of them accepts it. And now the wife, he is a married, and my wife is also very knowledgeable. She is also very intelligent. And then these things are going on, and then Shankaracharya is almost about to win now, because Mandan Mishra cannot hold on to, cannot challenge the kind of knowledge that Shankaracharya is sharing in front of him. And that point of time, she says that, okay, if you really want to declare yourself as a winner, you have to, I am his Ardhangini. So I is better off. So you have to even win over me also. Then only you will have, your win will be complete. Otherwise your win cannot be considered complete. So then she takes over, and then she asks, okay, now you tell me about the Kama Shastra. Now look at the situation. The Shankaracharya is a brahmachari, he is a sannyasi. How would he have an experience of the Kama Shastra? And she asked me, you have to tell me the Kama Shastra. Explain me to that. No, that is where he gets into silence. He cannot even utter a word about it. What is it that he'll speak? If he speaks, then he is not sannyasi. And if he remains calm, he has to he's just going to mourn, and he just that thing. He just give 1 month. Give me 1 month. And then he goes, and all just like to meditation, all the other disciples say around him, his body, he says that he is, and one person gets into deeper meditation. That is how he leaves his body. And when he's into, he saw there is one, it's almost death has happened. But still that body gets into inside that body. So that is what is a permit, and it goes under for that the king. He rules that kingdom for next 1 month, and he experiences all things. He comes back and leaves his body and comes back again into his own body, and then comes back here, and then he explains that Kama Sutra to this. So now when he's speaking about Kama Sutra, all the disciples have is their proof that he is there inside that room only. He has not went anywhere. So his sannyasa is intact. The Brahmacharya is intact. Nobody can claim anything. And yet he is talking about a Kama Sutra. That has been born to him. That is the siddhi of Parakaya Pravesh. He did the Parakaya Pravesh. But we have this story, the number 9. Parakaya Pravesh क्या होता है? How does one lead to the Parakaya Pravesh? How does one become one with that Jiva? How does one become that experiences that कभी नहीं पता था? No told us. Never ever heard of this any time point of time from anywhere. And that knowledge is explained into such a minute detail. Yes, obviously there is a fairy story and that goes on. But look at this level of intricate level of knowledge that is there inside it now. And if we really need to get into the details of that, we need to hear this, read this again and again. This episode multiple times. Then that pattern, something will happen. Some knowledge will dawn. Oh my God, it is so good. So then, wow, that wow also will come into existence. So this is also another takeaway. That how these things happen. Along with the beautiful take shared by Sangeeta ji, that all this is just a dream. Just get out of it, and then just once you establish yourself into that Atma Bhava, then what is there? Nothing. You are into the bliss. So amazing. Other than these two things, if there are any more takeaways or if there are any more questions, you are welcome to unmute yourself. You can share your experience.
Yes, Chitta is more powerful than Prana. Today's takeaway.
Very true. Your Chitta is much more powerful than your Prana, and you are much more powerful than your Chitta. Yes? So you are much more powerful than all this world which is there outside, right? Vyakti, Vastu, Paristiti, which you beautifully said today. Vyakti, Vastu, Paristiti, all this world, all the planets, all its effects on you. Now, you are much more powerful than your Chitta itself is very powerful. Your Chitta is extremely powerful. You are much more powerful than Chitta. Amazing. It's a beautiful figure. What else? Or
and a dream level of dream, it seems that like many Brahmandas are inside us. So it's like that.
Yes, so that is also very important takeaway. See, look at the level of dreams that he saw. So what we are watching now, it's not inside the dream of someone else or inside the dream, our own dream only. Who have a guarantee? But we think that this Jagruta Avastha is there and this world is there. What is the guarantee that this is not a dream? Why do you take it so seriously? There need to take it so seriously. He said this to me, he said that to me. उसने मुझे ऐसा बोला, उसने मुझे वैसा बोला, ऐसा हुआ वैसा हुआ, क्या पता नहीं किस तरह के इसमें हम लोग उलझे रहते हैं. जरूरत है क्या? Just waking up to this reality, be free. Fantastic, very beautiful. What are the other takeaways?
It's only the matter of awakening. Then only you feel all these things are petty. But then if you're in that dream, then everything is so real to you, no?
Correct.
इसने ऐसा बोला, उसने ऐसे किया, इसने ऐसे किया. So everything is so real to you, and your reactions are also so real. Everything goes out, isn't it? It's only that awakening takes you to feel that it is a dream and seems so, and you feel it and you can really see it as a dream. So that is what it is. So again, you come back to that awakening itself, which is important in your own Atma, and then everything, that world appearance doesn't seem anymore. The subject and object, the two things, they become one. Till that they become one, everything is very much real to you. Then it becomes a reel to you. Just a reel is going on and you're enjoying it, isn't it? Don't we see the reels nowadays? So beautiful they are. Everybody goes out, making a reel. That is what it is.
It's so important. No? Your real will become a reel to you.
Real to you.
That's very beautiful. Very beautiful. And then
and
how
you
does
enjoy it.
yeah. Here that Muni says that it's not a joke. You'll not get it just like that. Alpa prayatna will not make that happen for you. You have to do your Bhagiratha prayatna. Bhagiratha prayatna of what? Bhagiratha prayatna of this knowledge, devotion, grace, Shraddha, Sadhana, Pranayama, that Chitta Vritti Nirodha. You have to do this, put together all these things over and again, knowledge again and again, again. Practice this over a period of time. Then Nirantara Satkara, honoring this knowledge, honoring the practices, then it becomes form that awakening. Then ज्ञान समाधि लगेगी, तो निरंतर लगेगी फिर, और बीच में टूटेगी नहीं. करते हो, करना है, and don't feel any bad or when will it happen, कब होगा, but आप अपना प्रयत्न कर रहे हो. So contemplation, what is the purpose of my life? Why am I here? What is it I am not? ये सारी चीजें अपने आप को बार-बार रिमाइंड करना. Make yourself realize this. Make yourself contemplate on. Put your all practices and on perspective. Keep doing. So then definitely it's all having an impact. It's getting established so eventually. And then definitely that awakening state of yours, Sangeeta is referring to it, but do your Purushartha for that. Continue to do that.
Never settle for anything less than that.
Worth नहीं है ना, worthless है बिल्कुल. What settle for that? It is worthless. बिल्कुल तुच्छ है इसके सामने, कुछ नहीं है. और हमारे जी कुछ कहना चाहते हैं?
इतना दृढ़ संकल्प होना चाहिए. Just march towards your goal. That's it. Nothing less than that. Yeah, and it will take you there then. Maybe it seems a bit far away, okay, but you are on the path, and your self-inquiry, your self-knowledge, and Guru's grace, everything will take you fast ahead in that. Wonderful. It's so amazing, I really tell you.
Who knows that?
Thank you.
This moment. Who knows? You are probably already enlightened, or in no matter of time you can become enlightened also. We don't know. It can be any moment. हाँ रामा जी, आप क्या कहते हैं?
When somebody hurts me, then it is beneficial for me that it is unreal. It is dream. Then it can be, I feel not bad. I feel not bad. No? It is unreal. It is the most opportunist point that all these are unreal. then the feelings will be lesser. Bad feelings will be lesser.
Yes, na, the moment you see that तो सिर्फ मूवी चल रहा है, पिक्चर चल रहा है, तो कैसे
All these are unreal.
we don't get it. You move on. You will move on. We are stuck in that. As we stuck. I want to be stuck. Get it. But it is just fulfill. What is it you're talking about? Come on, wake up. Wake out of that. So it's so beautiful, amazing.
But still you have the power to change also, isn't it? Because you are the Brahma, you can change your picture also. Today what you are seeing, it's all what you have been thinking. So again, what you want to see, you can paint a new picture. You know, they say you can paint the whole sky is like available to you. You know, you go on painting whatever you want. So that is what it is. So now if you, that is where the blessings come, you know, when you see somebody doing all these things and it's hurting you, or you have a, not even hurting you anymore, but you have that compassion ki even they should grow up. So that is where the blessing comes. That is where you are spreading the light. So there are many aspects, you know, of going ahead in this way. And it is amazing to be in compassion and love and go ahead also. So even that is there. So you paint a new picture. Whatever you want to see, you can do that because you are the Brahma now sitting on the lotus and you can paint it, right? So it was exactly like seeing in that mirror what it is to be seen.
In my hand, I have the color and I have the brush.
Yes, and you are the one to do it. That is the main thing. You have that power to do it. That is also there, no? So everything counts in that.
कितना अमेजिंग ना, इसका थोड़ा और एक एंगल बताता हूँ. इसका एक एंगल है कि भाई ठीक है, आप ब्रह्मा हो, आप क्रिएटर हो, आपके हाथ में पेंट का ब्रश भी है, आपके हाथ में कलर भी है. ऐसा ही कलर का ब्रश और ऐसे ही कलर की डिब्बी, एक नहीं ऐसे हजारों डिब्बियां उस विपश्चित के हाथ में भी लग गई, अलग अलग सिद्धियां, अलग जगह पे जाने की. और वो ऐसे ही ना, ऐसे ही चित्र, ऐसे ही अपने ब्रह्मांड बनाता गया, पता नहीं कब तक बनाता रहा, फिर भी उसको अंत नहीं मिला, उसकी इच्छाओं का अंत नहीं हुआ, और ऐसी अविद्या में ही फंसता रहा. तो अल्टीमेटली ब्रश भी अनरियल है, कलर भी अनरियल है, और जो चित्र बना रहे हो वो भी अनरियल है. क्यों फंस रहे हो उसमें? चित्र में कुछ बदलने की भी आवश्यकता है. अपने और आप जैसे आगे तो ब्लिस से नया चित्र भी बनाता. कब तक बनाओगे? वो विपश्चित राजा ऐसे ही चित्र बनाता रहा, आपने करोड़ों जन्मों तक, पता नहीं कितने जन्मों तक ऐसे ही चित्र बनाता गया. क्यों चित्र बनाना नया भी? छोड़ो.
भैया आपने बोले कि in the dream there is no function of breath, prana.
चित्त में कहाँ से प्राण आ गया ना? वो चल रहा है उसे चित्त में.
There is only the function of mind.
हाँ बिल्कुल.
माइंड ही खाली वो ड्रॉ करते रहते हैं ड्रीम को,
बिल्कुल
ऐसे. बट
अंत नहीं है, इनफाइनाइट है उसका सोचने का पावर.
नहीं, इसी को ना विषम अवस्था कहा गया.
हाँ, इसी को विषम अवस्था कहता है, स्वप्न कहलाता है. नहीं तो जागृत और मन एक साथ चल रहे तो फिर वो जागृत अवस्था हो जाती है. शरीर चल नहीं रहा है, मन चल रहा है, विषम अवस्था हो गई. तो भी सोच सकते हो.
That the fourth development of the four stages, that is Jagrit, Sapna, Susipti and Turiya. That is there are these four stages, and only in the dream mind only works and prana does not work.
It is just, it's very
mind control over the prana.
Yeah. Ultimately, it both has a very tight link in between them. But understanding that prana is the prerak for this man, that understanding wasn't correct. Yet it has an impact. It does have an impact, but it's not that because of the mind because the prana, the mind is created. No, other way around. It is the chitta that came into existence, and then after that prana, it imagines the prana. In reality, the mind is also not there, prana is also not there. But if you want to see that order, it is the mind that comes into picture, then comes to the level of prana. But there is a tight coupling, both have an impact on each other. Yes, prana is the prerak for this, but in reality, it is the chitta which is related prana. It's a chronological order.
Yes, yes, bhaiya.
Okay. चलिए इस आज के सत्र पे यहाँ पे रोक लेते हैं. We'll conclude. It was a very beautiful discussion. Let us continue to discuss such things so that the many different aspects of the knowledge, आयाम जिसको बोलते हैं, that वो जो ज्ञान की मूर्ति होते हैं ना, वो ऐसे मंथन से that अमृत, that nectar comes out. So beautiful, amazing. Thank you so much for that. We'll take a pause so that we can do. Jai Gurudev.